Good morning. I just finished a quick run up of Matt's auntie's stairs. I set an intention the first time I ever went on those stairs that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna come and run these one day. And I just never had the opportunity. So I wasn't gonna let one pass me by. Matt and I are here on a little staycation away from the kids for, maybe 12 hours. But hey, sometimes you take what you can get. It was a lovely evening and afternoon, just relaxing. This week, a lot of things have come up for myself, and I've checked in with some of you to see how you're doing, what your goals are, what your whys are, what your intentions are. And some of them are vague, right? But that's okay, because we're going over the foundations in Bodies by Brie 1.0, and in Bodies by Brie 2.0, we're going over the self-care, self-responsibility part of fitness and getting away from the trends, getting away from the comparison of social media. We are looking at people's highlight reels. Okay, so we're just going to summarize where we are going into week 3. We have gotten our water pretty much nailed down. And even some of you responded with, this week's not going very good, but I got my water in. That was week 1. And I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what the goal was. So many times we start off a challenge or an accountability group or a program, and we're not looking at the step-by-step consistency to get to our end goal. You get given a program and it's like, here's your 5 days a week workouts. Here's your water regime, your everything, right? Here's your food regime. And then we expect ourselves, or we expect our clients to be like hitting it straight out of the gate on day 1. But the difference with this foundational Bodies by Brie 1.0 is that there's room for growth, there's room for grace, and there's room for never giving up on yourself, okay? So I'm never giving up on you, so you never give up on yourself. Notice where you are today and notice where you are at the end of the week. This is why journaling and sitting with yourself or your meditation, 10 minutes a day to reflect back on how far you've come and how well you're doing. And that could be in any aspect of life. I want Bodies by Brie 1.0 and 2.0 to be able to filter down into your whole life, whether it be your relationships, whether it be your finances, whether it be your work or your career. Because every part has a place in our fitness, okay? So those are all external things. And now the meditation part is the intrinsic part, and it's the emotional source belief that we believe that we're good enough to accomplish these things. We believe that we're good enough to have the things that we want and to be the person that we see at the end of this 6 weeks, at the end of the 12 weeks, and so on and so forth. So what I'm building up to is Bodies by Brie 3.0 is going to take all this stuff that we're giving the seeds that we're planting right now, intrinsically, extrinsically. This is going to be the bread and butter of how fit you're going to be at the end of Bodies by Brie 3.0. That's going to get a little bit more specific. That's going to get a little bit more, okay, you know what? I am rinse and recycling and repeating this same goals and intentions every single day, week. All of a sudden at the end of that month, you're like, wow, did I ever get far this time? Because none of the other little things I had to worry about because they were already worked out in Bodies by Brie 1.0 and 2.0. Having said that, that's a little interlude to where we're going in the next 3 weeks. Week 3 is all about our vagus nerve and our lymphatic system. But I still want to keep rinsing and repeating the water, rinsing and repeating the 4 days of week of workouts. Okay, you can choose which workouts you want to do on Sunday night or Monday morning, and then put those into your calendar or your schedule when you're going to accomplish them, what you're going to accomplish, whether it be I'm doing a kettlebell session here, I'm doing a yoga session here. Be specific with yourself. If it changes a little bit, don't be hard on yourself. I'll have every intention to maybe hit up a yoga class with my girlfriend at Yoga Nation on Saturday. It might not happen, so guess what? I'm going to get up that morning and go for a run and do a little bit of mobility work instead. That's fine. changing things like that is absolutely fine. We need to be able to roll with the punches, especially as women, as mothers, as pretty much any human. We can't really predict how our week is going to go, you know? So give yourself that. And we want to set ourselves up for being able to do what you're doing on a daily and on a weekly, every single day, technically for the rest of your life. People get into fitness challenges and they think, oh, I'm going to just do this for 6 weeks and I'm going to be fit. I'm going to be good to go. But that's not the case, right? You're going to ebb and flow with your fitness regime, but it's a lifestyle. End of story. It is you know what? Sometimes, some weeks, some months are going to be a little bit harder depending on what's going on in your life, but you're going to have those little things like your water, like your daily mindful meditation, like setting your intentions on Sunday evening, all kind of stacked in those beautiful habits that you're now going to just do without even thinking about it. Matt and I were talking on the way out to the cabin yesterday about it's frustrating sometimes for the teenagers because they don't quite have it hey, this is what you need to do in the morning, and go through the list. And I'm like, yeah, but they're new to it. They're new to going to work, or they're new to this particular schedule, just like we're new to this fitness thing if you're adding it in and you haven't for a while, right? You have to give yourself some grace. And all of a sudden, if you keep doing the same simple, tiny little steps, this is when I wash my face, this is when I brush my teeth, this is when I drink my water, this is when I do my meditation, this is when I write my intentions, this is when we plan our meals for the week, right? You can kind of see how it goes on and on and on. All of a sudden you're doing it subconsciously and you're so much more ahead of the game. And then you can be like, wow, this feels pretty easy. I'm going to add something on. So this week we're adding on vagus nerve reset, which I'm going to put a link in the for the YouTube video on the vagus nerve reset. It's super simple, but the number one, I believe, cause of failure in our fitness regime is our nervous system. So I'm feeling a little bit hard on myself this weekend, and I feel like I'm dehydrated. I feel like when I'm dehydrated, I hold water, so I feel a little bit softer, feel a little bit poofier, all in the face, all the things. So as much as, I'm trying to be easy on myself, I'm also going to post a video about how this Chinese medicine guy, I think that's what I'm saying correctly, but anyways, I'll send a video and you'll just understand. He talks to water, and if our body is 75 or more % water, and we're talking to ourselves, whether it be intrinsically or extrinsically in a negative manner, our body takes that on, and it actually changes the molecules in which our body are made up of. So always trying to be mindful of self-talk and how we talk to ourselves. It makes a huge difference. So I love checking in with you guys and, maybe flipping a few of the things that you say to yourself, which, Matt has to sometimes flip the things I say to myself and vice versa. I have to do it to my kids mostly all the time and be like, hey, maybe, we talk to ourselves like this instead of that way, and we focus on the things we can do, not on the things we can't do. So if there's an injury or there's a lack of time because we're busy and we have some plans this week that are kind of bumping into our workout plan or our plan to keep our intention and our promise to ourselves, then maybe we focus on what we can do. Oh, I can still get my water in. I can still do my meditation or my deep breathing. And meditation doesn't have to be following a video. It can be outside for a peaceful walk. It can be taking 10 minutes just to do some mindful breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, right? Just change it up that way. I have a wasp now. Anyways, coloring. That's another meditation that I thought of the other day. When I was pregnant with Gianna, I was very, very ill, and I didn't want to just eat all day because that made me feel good, but I wasn't about to do that. And I really felt that when Lila and I colored together, I didn't feel as ill. So we colored a lot of pages while I was pregnant with Gianna. And I thought to myself the other day, because I was having troubles getting back into my meditation regime, that maybe I would pick up a crayon and the meditation adult coloring or whatever it is, because I have lots of them around still, and maybe do that for 10 minutes in the morning instead of trying to force myself into do something that my body's resisting. If your body's resisting something, there's a reason our body's resisting something. We might need to just take a little check in why our body might be resisting that, because our body is very intuitive and it tells us what it does and doesn't want. Okay. But we have to be realistic. Okay. I just went and ran those stairs 20 times. Did my body want to do it? Not really. But once I got into it, it was like, yes, thank you for doing this for me. Right. So we can't make excuses. There's a little bit of a gray area there. So be mindful of that as well. But be easy on yourself. I always say, you know what, if I'm not feeling a workout that day, I'm going to start with 5 or 10 minutes. And usually by 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like a heck yes, or a not today, but I don't guilt myself or shame myself on not fitting in the exercise that day. I know that I'm going to do it when my body wants to, and it will love me more for it. Okay. I can always look after myself in different ways that day, whether it be do a dry brushing, which is coming up next week. Actually, no, it's coming up this week for lymphatic. I can do, you know, a session of deep breathing. I can go in my infrared sauna, or I can just cuddle with one of my kids and or read a book. Lots of things we can do to make ourselves feel better where we're at. Okay. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or concerns, please comment below in the Facebook post that this video will be on. And I want to hear from you this week. Did you meditate? If not, why? Was it because it was hard? Was it because you didn't find the time? This is what I'm here for. And this is what we're working on to gradually get us to our end goal at the end of 6 weeks, so that most of this stuff that we're talking about is really, really simple and it's already in a plan. Okay. The next thing I want you to comment on is, how are your workouts going? Because your water's good. Your water's good. We're past water. Water's great. You're still going to have to maybe log your water if you feel that you're lacking that, or find some places to put your water in. But now we're on to, you know, doing our cardio, right? Week 4, we get a little bit more specific into a full 4-day workout program with cardio suggestions. Nothing is for sure. You can always change things up depending on what equipment you have, where you're at, and what you got going on that week. But the 4-day workout is going to be a thing. Okay. So just checking in where you're at. We're going to talk a little bit about sleep next week, but this week it's all about our lymphatic system and resetting that vagus nerve. So our lymphatic system, if it's not working properly, you're going to be really, really tight up here in the collarbones. Okay. So we always want to be, if you're feeling stressed, just tapping and gently rubbing in through the collarbones, and just a gentle drag down through your neck, a little rub right at the sternum, right at the sphenoid process. Okay, sternocleidomastoid. Just give it a little rub and a little tap up into the armpits, little rub and a little tap. That is where we are going to intro our lymphatic system. And then we're going to talk about how to best protect and keep our lymphatic system healthy as we move on through Body by Brie 2.0. All right, I hope you're having a great weekend and we have an even better week. One day at a time. That's all it takes. One habit at a time. Focus on what you can do. Please don't take anything out of your diet or regime. We're just finding replacements. If you feel like something is really important to take out of your diet, then find a really significant, amazing replacement for it. If you have any questions about that, let me know. All right. Hope that you have a good setting goals and intentions this week and a good meditation.